ISIS fanatic who was shot dead by French police after shouting Allahu Akbar, "I'll kill you all," and murdering 3 people in supermarket siege. The Moroccans stormed a Super-U supermarket in Trebes, southwest France, and took hostages this morning. Woman who lived with the gunman has been detained for questioning, said country's top terror prosecutor. After an hours-long standoff, special police forces descended on the shop and shot suspected jihadist dead. Fanatic, armed with a gun, knives and a grenade, had hijacked a car, killing a passenger and injuring the driver. The gunman, named as Redouane Lakdim, 26, then shot at officers and injured one in the city of Carcassonne. That police officer is now fighting for his life in hospital and 16 victims were wounded, 2 of them seriously. He then drove to supermarket and shouted Allahu Akbar, "I'll kill you all," before killing a worker and shopper. Lakdim also demanded the release of Salah Abdeslam, the last surviving suspect in 2015 ISIS attack in Paris. The ISIS fanatic shot dead by police in France after he killed 3 people in a gun rampage and supermarket siege has been pictured for the first time. The lone extremist, armed with a gun, knives and a grenade, hijacked a car, shot its passenger in the head, and fired at police officers in Carcassonne, southwest France, before driving to a Super-U shop in Trebes and taking hostages. After screaming Allahu Akbar, "I'll kill you all," the Moroccan Islamist, named as 26-year-old Lakdim, killed a butcher and a shopper, while terrified customers either fled from the store or hid in a cold room. During the siege, during which 16 people were wounded and 2 seriously hurt, Lakdim demanded the release of Salah Abdeslam, 28, the last surviving suspect in the 2015 ISIS attack in Paris that left 130 dead. But after an hours-long standoff, special police units converged on the scene and stormed the supermarket, where 50 people had been shopping when the attack began. President Emmanuel Macron this afternoon called Lakdim's rampage a terrorist act, the first to hit France since he became leader in May. French investigators said the man was known to intelligence services and had been flagged in a database of radicalized militants. His home was raided today and a neighbor said she had seen Lakdim taking one of his younger sisters to school before he launched his attack. It has emerged that a French military officer took the place of a supermarket hostage, entering the danger zone as the drama unfolded. The 45-year-old lieutenant colonel named as Arnaud Beltrame, who is now fighting for his life in hospital, left his mobile phone on a table so police could hear what was happening. Through that phone, police heard gunshots inside the building and decided the elite forces had to storm the market, killing Lakdim. The woman who lived with the gunman has been detained for questioning, the country's top anti-terror prosecutor has said. Speaking in Carcassonne, François Mullin said gunman Redouane Lakdim had claimed to be a soldier of ISIS before he was killed by police. Morning, Friday, March 23, Lakdim, who reportedly lived with his mother and 3 or 4 sisters in Carcassonne, is seen walking his little sister to school. Sometime before 11 a.m., Lakdim hijacks a car somewhere in his hometown. A passenger in the vehicle is shot in the head and killed, while the driver is wounded before the terrorist drives away. Approximately 11 a.m., the attacker opens fire on 4 policemen jogging near the edge of town. One officer is wounded after being hit in the shoulder. Bullets also strike a nearby car, shattering the back window. Lakdim escapes in the stolen vehicle. Approximately 11:15 a.m., gunshots are reported at a Super U supermarket in the town of Trebes as Lakdim storms in, taking hostages. 2 people are later shot dead, though it is unclear precisely when or why. French police initially say a dozen people are wounded, though uncertainty remained around the exact toll on Friday afternoon. Sometime before 2 p.m., a French policeman makes his way into the supermarket after agreeing to swap himself for a hostage. He is later wounded, though it is not clear exactly how. Approximately 2 p.m., French police storm the supermarket, shooting Lakdim dead. This afternoon, ISIS claimed responsibility for the shooting spree, saying one of its soldiers had acted in response to calls to attack coalition countries. It was referring to the US-led coalition that has been carrying out airstrikes against ISIS in Syria and Iraq since 2014. France is part of that coalition. Interior Minister Gerard Collomb said the attacker was Redouane Lakdim, 26, who lived with his parents and his 4 sisters in a flat on a council estate in Carcassonne, a town that is a UN World Heritage Site and a major French tourist attraction. It was raided on Friday early in the afternoon, where a neighbor said she had seen Lakdim taking one of his younger sisters to school on Friday morning. Lakdim was subject to an S-file, which means the intelligence services considered him a security threat. He spent a short time in prison in 2016. Collomb said Lakdim was not considered a terror threat despite earlier reports. He was known by the police for petty crimes. We had monitored him and did not think he had been radicalized, Collomb said after arriving at the scene of the hostage-taking in the town of Trebes, near Carcassonne. He was already under surveillance when he suddenly decided to act, he said. One of those killed in the attack was Portuguese, the nation's government confirmed. Miguel Silva, head of the department that deals with Portuguese expats, said the death of a Portuguese citizen has been confirmed by French authorities to our consular services. The gunman had earlier held up a car in the nearby city of Carcassonne, killing a passenger and then firing 6 shots at police officers, all members of the city's CRS 57 unit wearing athletic clothes with police insignia. Shouting vengeance for Syria, he injured 1 officer before driving off towards the supermarket, where he held several hostages. The injured officer is not in life-threatening condition. Forensic officers were combing the scene of the massacre on Friday afternoon and set up a cordon in the supermarket car park around a white Opel Corsa, thought to be in some way linked to the gunman. It has not been made clear whether this was the car hijacked by Redouane Lakdim.